Welcome back. Now, in our first interview this morning, we want to discuss reinforcing regional security. And in studio, we are joined by Colonel Francis Mbidi from Tanzania and Colonel James Ruheshi from Uganda. That's the conversation. So 22422 is the SMS line, or you can get us on Twitter. The hashtag is #PubBreakfast. For now, I hand you over to Mr. Njao. Mr. Njao?
Thank you very much. Welcome, Colonels from Tanzania and from Uganda. You are here on a mission. Tell us exactly what the mission is.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting us here this morning. And let me introduce myself properly. Actually, my name is Colonel Francis Mbidi. I'm the Defense Liaison Officer, Tanzania. I'm also the Chair of Defense Liaison Officers at the East African Community Secretariat. Now, having said that, our mission here is to conduct a military exercise, which is part of our areas of cooperation in defense affairs in the East African community. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Introduce yourself and say, I'm called Colonel James Barije Ruheshi, the Defense Liaison Officer for Uganda at the East African Secretariat. And I'd like to thank the Citizen TV for having accepted to invite us here and for having given us an opportunity to present the activities we are doing in the East African Community region.
What is Defense Liaison Officer?
Defense Liaison Officer is a senior officer from the Defense Forces who does the coordination of his mother or partner state to the East African community. And he normally handles matters to do with security, especially defense cooperation. Thank you.
So what did you come to Kenya to do? Since you are not in Arusha, both of you are in Kenya. What is it you are doing in Kenya?
Yeah, like what I said before, we are actually here to conduct what we call command post exercise, which involves armed forces of all partner states. And this exercise also comprises of civilian and military components. So we are here to conduct that exercise.
And where is it being conducted, and what's the reason?
Okay, the reason actually, it is the rationale of conducting this exercise is one, to enhance the capabilities of armed forces of partner states. Second, to enhance cooperation among armed forces of partner states, as well as key stakeholders in defense and security matters, and also to improve interoperability among partner state armed forces.
That means what? If you are in Nairobi or in Kenya this time,
yes.
Previously, did you have one, or this is the beginning? Or you are, is that a common thing? You normally
Yes, actually this is a common thing, and we normally conduct this exercise every year. And we began a series of exercises like this in 2005. And this exercise, which is happening now, was supposed to be conducted last year, but due to unavoidable circumstances, we did not conduct it last year. So we are conducting it now. But in 2014, a similar exercise was conducted in Burundi. So it is on rotational basis. So this year is in Kenya. 2014 it was in Burundi, and next year it will be in another country.
What does exercise entail?
This exercise is called Ushirikiano Imara, and it is a command post exercise, as he has told you.
What is command post? Civilian don't know what a command post is.
Yes, it is a skeleton unit of different units from the 5 partner states, composed of commanders and their staff officers, and they are here to carry out an exercise which involves disaster management, which also involves some intervention, which also involves different scenarios, and it is there to measure and to enhance the interoperability of the forces. I'd like to give the example that the force commander right now of that force which is executing the exercise is from Uganda, and he has the opportunity to command and instruct and give guidance to all the 5 partner state commanders and staff in any scenario that will be given, because it is a simulated exercise, not with so many soldiers, but once any problem is brought, they do the planning, they assist in the decision making up to the execution part.
You said that the exercise involves civilians. In what way?
Yeah, actually, when we undertake, say, United Nations missions or African Union missions, or missions organized by other regional organs, we are normally deployed with the various components, and one of the components is civilians. And in civilians, we are talking about the issue of rendering humanitarian assistance to affected people in a conflict area. So we need to practice together. The military, police, and the civilians need to practice together so that when we are actually deployed in the field, we know who is doing what and who should support who in which way.
This exercise takes place for how long?
Is taking place for from today, actually.
How many days or how many months, or is it days or months?
No, it is for 14 days. It is for 14 days.
Now, what can you achieve in 40 days?
Well, we are expected.
Because you are saying it's simulated. Well, like, is it a fire or is it a hunger? What disaster do you? What disaster or peace do you simulate?
Actually, there are so many. Scenarios. Some of them deal with the peace support operations. Others deal with the counter-terrorism. Yet others deal with the counter-piracy, disaster management, and humanitarian assistance. So, in all of those scenarios, participants will be given some challenging issues and will be asked to take them and come up with the appropriate solution, assuming that they are in the real theater.
Somebody is asking me to ask you a political question, and you're a military person. Ask him why Ugandan army soldiers are beating Kenyans in Migingo.
Thank you very much. Well, since it is a political question, I'd like to tell the person who has asked the question that it is out of the scope which has brought us, because we are here to project the exercise with Ushirikiano. However, I don't think that one is a big threat, because it will be handled by the strategic level, since it is a political issue, and also There are mechanisms of solving such conflicts through the dispute settlements, which the East African community has got in its structures. There is enough time for consultation, and there is also the East African Court of Justice. So I don't think that it will culminate into any big conflict. There are mechanisms of how it can be handled within the region, and let us just leave it to the strategic level. I know they will handle it peacefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You are here to do peace and peace building.
Yeah.
And there is no conflict between us. The only conflict is there between. I know Tanzania. You are not in Somalia, but Uganda is, and Kenya is, and Burundi is. What do you think about what's happening with the AMISOM in Somalia?
Would you please elaborate more your question, because the way you asked it, I cannot give a correct answer unless you explain.
Why is Tanzania not helping peace building in Somalia?
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, we are doing other missions in other areas. Okay, so it is not only the question of Tanzania not being in Somalia, but this is the question of the entire continent. And like I said, right now we are doing other missions in other countries, like in DRC, in Sudan, and in Lebanon. So we cannot overstretch ourselves, but of course we, through exercises like this, we render our expertise and our experience. We share it with our fellow members from other states' armed forces. Yeah, I can answer this question to that extent.
To that extent.
Yes.
No, you're not in Somalia, but elsewhere.
Yes, sir.
Like in DRC.
Yes, sir.
When soldiers go for peacekeeping missions, I know, for instance, Kenyan military, when they go for peacekeeping, whether in Europe or West Africa, they come with a lot of reputation. But there are other instances, like we have heard of soldiers going to peacekeeping in Central Africa, where they are accused of all kinds of misdeeds. Like, for instance, Kenyan soldiers who are now in AMISOM in Somalia, there are allegations of them doing illegal business, selling charcoal. What do you say about that? When soldiers go to keep peace, they take advantage of those countries, like in Central Africa, they do minerals, they do smuggling. What do you say?
Thank you very much. It is unfortunate that such things happen, but in most cases, even when such things happen, someone has to be blamed. And in most cases, when the leadership, command and management is not strong, that's where you find such things happening. But I don't think that they deploy intentionally to do those things, because before we deploy, we really prepare our forces, especially on the respect of the international law and humanitarian issues. So it's unfortunate that it can happen, but still they are not above the law. There are measures which can be taken to punish such people, and it's a matter of good practice, clear ideology, and also strong leadership, command and management. Otherwise, if you let them loose, if someone has the freedom of action, without guidance, he can end up messing up. And I think that our superiors are trying to address that problem. But someone has to be punished, either the individual or the person responsible. Otherwise, it's unfortunate that such things happen.
In this training you have to this time, do you have Burundi military?
Yeah, at the moment in the exercise Ushirikiano Imara, we have all the 5 partner states armed forces. That is Burundi, Kenya, the United Republic of Tanzania, Rwanda, and also Uganda. If you look at the force levels, we are equally represented.
Like how many people are involved in that exercise?
As I told you, it was a skeleton.
Actually, it is
of about 50 personnel from each partner state.
50, so those are
it involves different components: the military component, the civil component, which has got police, rehabilitation, and also the political group and the media also. So we are not alone.
When it comes to political, what do you mean?
Political, in this scenario, we have a head of mission. A head of mission who has been appointed by the authority. That is, he draws his mandate and authority based on the United Nations line, based on the African Union, and also based on the interest of the 5 partner states in the East African community. So we've got a head of mission who takes...
Head of mission means some representative from Arusha.
He's from Arusha, but along the lines of African Union to United Nations. And his responsibility is to...
That's a civilian or a military?
He's a purely civilian.
Yeah.
He coordinates all the people in the theater. That is the military component, the civil component, and he's the one who gives us guidance, which comes from the authority of African Union and United Nations, based on the articles which should be applied and also the mandate given to him.
What about when it comes to gender? How is the gender represented?
Well, thank you so much for this very good question. Actually, in the exercise, gender is very well represented because in all the contingents from the 5 partner states, we have female participants in various levels, and they are doing various activities. So the question of gender is very well addressed.
So where are you living when you are doing that exercise? Where are you located?
We are located in different areas within Nairobi city, but in the morning from 9 a.m. we assemble at the exercise area. We stay there up to 1600 hours, and then we go back to our respective hotels. We are lodged in hotels.
Different hotels?
Yes.
We are not in a Naname barrack?
Not, because this is a command post exercise. It is not a field training exercise.
What is the difference?
Okay, the difference is, like what my colleague said, a command post exercise involves elements of commanders and staff officers. But field training exercise involves even troops plus commanders and staff officers, and they are deployed on ground, on actual ground actually. For instance, if it is a counter piracy operation, you are deployed, say, in Mombasa. So you go to the ocean and conduct those counter-piracy operations. And the troops stay in the training area, in the field.
But this is not a field at all.
This is not a field.
So you stay in a room and talk?
We assemble in the exercise area in the morning, like I said. We do our business there, and then at the end of the day...
What do you do? Just talking? Or you listen to somebody speaking? Or you do if it's peace building? What do you do?
Actually, we started with a clinic from 21st, and it is ending today, that clinic. And in that clinic, we had a series of presentations from various people concerning the exercise to bring out general and specific ideas regarding the question, regarding the exercise. Now, today, we expect that after the exercise is formally opened, then participants will be sent to various cells. So we'll have simulated scenarios. For instance, for peace support operations, you will have some issues.
For you to have peace, you must have war or some battle. So where is the simulated peace? Or will you get people fighting, or?
Yeah, there will be. Actually, the situation right now, we have a fictitious country called Mambo Republic.
Yes.
Now, Mambo Republic is one of the East African partner states, and there is a conflict there. The big issue over there is a question of power. So there is a conflict there, and the East African community is interested to resolve that conflict, and the East African community asked the African Union to approve intervention measures, and the African Union also asked the United Nations Security Council to approve. Now, intervention measure is approved, so that's why we are here to resolve the conflict in Mambo Republic.
Military intervention or political intervention?
Well, it's both military and political, because it's not only the military that goes in, as we had earlier told you that it's a combination of military and civilian, but it depends upon the scenario. For instance, if it is a peace support operation, then we normally focus ourselves on humanitarian assistance, access to those who need the assistance, protection to those who are taking the assistance. If it is
in a situation like that, there will be a lot of displaced people.
Sure. Yes. So we, the soldiers, provide protection. Then the civilians in the theater provide the humanitarian.
What about the soldiers in the Mambo Republic? The military in that place might resist.
Yes, such challenges are met, and when they resist, we also deal with them based on the rules governing us from both UN and the African Union. But there are other scenarios like disaster management, like floods, like Ebola threat. So we have medical teams who can handle that. We have experts who can provide different alternatives of means to reach the need. There is also another scenario of counter-terrorism. Once it is brought out, we react to it, the forces react to it, they share information, they plan for the counter and try to solve it. We also have counter-piracy, imaginary enemy who also threatens our waters, that is Mombasa. We have experts who plan, assess the situation, evaluate, plan, and come up with solutions to such problems.
In this case, when you talk about those issues, there's a lot of need for intelligence.
Sure.
Are you using military intelligence or civilian intelligence?
We are using
which means are you involving the intelligence in your countries?
Sure.
Are they there in the exercise?
Well, if you look at our structures, every unit has got an intelligence office.
That's
or
military.
cell.
That's military intelligence.
That is military intelligence. But we also share. We also share with civil intelligence because we don't work alone.
Yeah.
We don't work alone. We share with all different types of intelligence organizations to get the information from both covert and overt means. Yeah. Even the TV can give you information.
Yeah.
Even the news can give you information. The people can be interviewed, and then that is open source. But we can also go in using technical assistance, using our intelligence surveillance target acquisition systems to acquire the intelligence we need so that we can solve the problem.
When things like those incidents of either terrorism or counterinsurgency, the military sometimes, even locally, not even outside, is sometimes accused of misbehavior. They take advantage of, say for instance, stealing or killing innocent people, rape sometimes. Is that part of your exercise? You train people not to do those kind of things.
Thank you so much for that very good question. Actually, we have some scenarios aiming at practicing participants on international humanitarian law and human rights law. So we are going to simulate some scenarios so that when they are flashed out, participants react to those scenarios, and the aim is to teach them not to do those bad things. Yes, so we have such issues.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbindi and Mr. Ruhesi from Uganda and from Tanzania. I wish we had more time, but we're running out of time. And I wish you the best in your exercise, so that you bring the East African community, military men and women together. And now we'll take a break and go to the choir that is going to sing for us before we do the next interview about